Okay, here we are. We're live on the air on YouTube for those listening live. Probably not a large audience though. And I hope your day is going well. We are sitting here on Valentine's Day of 2014, 2/14/14, and happy Valentine's Day, because love is the strongest and most powerful force that can help the world. I truly believe that. Okay. We're going to look at some quotes as the quotes of the day continue from a marvelous woman named Jane Addams. She was a pacifist, strong, independent black woman who did not need a man, she once was quoted as saying. She was a sociologist, author, leader in the women's suffrage movement, world peace movement, in an era when presidents such as Theodore Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson identified themselves as reformers and social activists. Jane Addams was one of the most prominent reformers of the Progressive Era. She helped turn the U.S. to the issues of concern to mothers, such as the needs of children, world peace, public health. She said that if women were to be responsible for cleaning up their communities and making them better places to live, they needed to vote to be effective in doing so. So one of the early change makers, Jane Addams, who I believe graduated from Rockford College. You remember Rockford was where Chris Hedges made the graduation speech about 10 years ago, got fired immediately from the New York Times for doing that. The New York Times is apparently a liberal newspaper. Okay, so here's some quotes here from Jane Addams. The good we secure for ourselves is precarious and uncertain until it is secured for all of us and incorporated into our common life. So we want to make sure that we keep securing the good and building community. America's future will be determined by the home and the school. The child becomes largely what he is taught, hence we must watch what we teach and how we live. Unless our conception of patriotism is progressive, it cannot hope to embody the real affection and real interest of the nation. Action indeed is the sole medium of expression for ethics. Jane Addams. Many of these quotes from her writings and her speeches. Civilization is a method of living, an attitude of equal respect for all men. Old-fashioned ways which no longer apply to changed conditions are a snare in which the feet of women have always become readily entangled. Okay, think about that one for a little bit. The essence of immorality is the tendency to make an exception of myself. And social advance, here's an interesting one, social advance depends as much upon the process through which it is secured as upon the result itself. So it's the process of, let's say, fighting the pipeline, for example, when we know it's going to go through with corporate interest. The process of fighting, at least there's some social advance that takes place as we reflect on how we fought the fight and those who admired the fight. So there's Jane Addams, a short bit of quotes from her, and a little bit more about her. She increasingly being recognized as a member of the American Pragmatist School of Philosophy. In 1931, the year my mother was born, she became the first American woman to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, and is recognized as the founder of the social work profession in the United States. So a pretty huge figure in in this new awareness that women and women's minds are essential for community and growth in the long term. Born in Cedarville, Illinois, Jane Addams was the youngest of 9 children, born into a prosperous northern Illinois family of English American descent. It was traced back to the colonial New England. Her father was politically prominent, and 3 of her siblings died in infancy, and another died at age 16. So she had her mother died when she was 2, so just an incredibly tough childhood, sounds like. Read more about Jane Addams. It's Addams with 2 D's. There's tons of stuff on Wikipedia. She was and she wrote some books, I believe, too, which would be great to check out on Goodreads or Amazon. Addams developed three ethical principles for social settlements: to teach by example, to practice cooperation, and to practice social democracy. That is, egalitarian or democratic social relations across class lines. So she was not in favor of this neo-feudalism that we see in the present oligarchy kind of thing. She probably is rolling over in a grave right now on that one, on what the United States has become at this point, at least, more of an oligarchy than a democracy. Addams' philosophy combined feminist sensibilities with an unwavering commitment to the social improvement through cooperative efforts. Although she sympathized with feminists, socialists, and pacifists, Addams refused to be labeled. She hated labels. This refusal was pragmatic rather than ideological. So there she is. That's our quote of the day. Quotes of the day from Jane Addams, a marvelously interesting figure, and I hope you read more about her.